Alright, this is try two. If this doesn't work, I'll just try again whenever I'm at home. This is going to be a time capsule video. Hopefully this hasn't been opened before the year 2022. I am 30 years old. Birthday is November 3rd, 1989. And I'm going to be talking about some rather deep stuff here that I hope have been fixed or improved upon or achieved in your time, if I'm still alive. It is April 23rd, 2019, and honestly, I thought once we reached past 2018, it'd be something cool, it'd be something totally amazing. Technology would be kind of up there, but, it feels like nothing much has changed. I really kind of need a shower. I'm not even sure if this will be really uploaded till, after everything else that has happened. Um, I don't know where to begin. I guess I'll talk about what's been happening so far in my life and maybe ask questions for you, future me, older, way older Melinda, if you're still alive. If you're dead, we'll just be haunting people. How's the family doing? I know chances are if things keep going down this road with the way things have been for the past 30 years of our life, chances are you'll pretty much be going distant, I think, at this point. Did you get distant? Did you move away? I'm really hoping we moved away. We kind of have been having that in our mind for the past couple of years, but we need to get a job first. That's also another question. Did you get a job? Did you at least something manageable or tolerable? Hopefully you're not being a greeter or taking out a lot of trash. I got stuff to talk about love and maybe a bit about the world, but it's mostly about family, me, and my life. And yeah. So I guess the first thing to talk about is the family. Did the family ever get better? Um, is everyone getting more into drugs and alcohol and getting into fights and arrested or thrown back in jail? Currently, right now, hopefully both of my sisters are in jail for their drugs, not keeping up with appointments, lying, not paying the warrants of their arrest, not keeping up with their jail counselor people. Um, love my sisters and my brothers to the moon and the back, but I wish they didn't lie to me. I wish they didn't emotionally and mentally abuse and take advantage of their family members for their own selfish desires. That's mostly just for my sisters, though. Growing up, assumingly you already learned this already, hopefully you haven't revealed these tender thoughts that you never felt like you had a full family, that's for sure. We both know we are still pretty tomboys after 30-something years of trying to take care of ourselves, but also trying to be a bit of a protector and to be a good role model for the younger kids that are now still growing up in a technology phase kind of world, and trying to also take care of our own lives at the same time, though our lives really haven't been moving very far. It still feels like we're pretty stuck, and I'm just, that's that little knowledge in your head that, good things come to those who wait, and that other feeling that you must fight for what you want, what you feel like you deserved, or you've always dreamed that you could have. So you just start fighting for it. You try to get a job, uh, and basically trying to play by society's rules. While slowly, I feel like I'm. It feels like some of my dreams are like mentally in my head, shutting down and getting thrown down the pipe and being shredded, which is really kind of depressing to think about. But we already kind of know we're not that depressed. Um, did you ever happen to see Michael again? Michael is our older brother. Did you ever forgive him for what he's done? And by that, I mean, when I finally came back, him and his so-called girlfriend Taylor, with the colored hair, the piercings here, here. I think she had a septum, and here. And did you ever see your nieces again, Delia and Kasia? I love them both equally. It's just Michael and Taylor never believed in marriage or paperwork, even though they just had sex. They shared a home. Taylor never did anything with her photography major. Apparently, she was a big bitch to some of the family members. And then all of a sudden, Michael and Taylor decide to separate. Uh, Michael all of a sudden decided, without even talking to me, this is the thing that we had to deal with for the past 5 to 10 years of our life, is we never find out about anything that any of our family members are talking to. And you still hopefully don't believe it as much, that ever since Mom died, ever since you moved here, you just feel more alone, even within this family, and more distant. And you never hang out with actual family members. You never get out of the house. You never go to the lake. You never go have a shopping spree. Hardly anymore, even though it still feels like it's expensive. That Go to the movies. The only thing I do now is babysit 3 dogs, 2 children, a whole house, my apartment, or my small room that I am the only one that owns, uh, being the maid for the apartment. And now, since I'm getting paid for babysitting, which I kind of wanted to use for me, I'm now being forced to become an adult and pay $150 for rent every 5th month. Every 5th day of the month, my bad. So now, instead of maybe, I don't know, trying to fix my teeth, instead of trying to go on a diet and take care of myself better, I can't do that. Um, Instead of saving up money to get a new laptop for myself, I can't do that. Um, Instead of saving up money to just learning to explore and live life a little bit better, I can't do that. It just feels like, in my 2019 thinking, that I thought they always said after you grow up, life, of course, would get harder. But that means you'd have a little bit less responsibility of school on your mind, of having to impress mom and dad and learn from your siblings. And I've done all that. And now it just feels like life is 10 times as hard. I'm hoping in the future that life isn't as hard, and that not only can we come home after work and clean the house for a little bit and play on our Xbox and watch Netflix or chat with friends, play with friends, um, or watch some DVDs or read on the couch or take a hot shower or give myself another haircut, give myself a facial mask, do YouTube videos from my video channel that is not really much going anywhere. Sorry, I'm picking at my industrial earring that I'm hoping has healed by that time, and I have at least a septum piercing next and way few more tattoos. I know they're expensive. I know they hurt. Believe me, I know. I have a pretty good pain tolerance. It's kind of slowly deswelling up above there, but I haven't seen no pus or discharge or blood for that matter. I mean, I see like a tiny bit of wetness above my ears. Anyway, this is getting me distracted. In the year 2022, is there still fighting and arguing amongst family members and so-called couples? Is our cousin Casey still with that asshole James / Kyle? How's Dwayne and Kevin? Is Steve doing okay at least? Did he ever find love? Is Dwayne and Kevin hopefully grown up by this time? Do they get better with potty training and their temper tantrums? Did you ever forgive Kyle for what he did to us when our first relationship moved down here? Did you ever learn to talk about that? Did you ever find another therapist? Or did you stick to the YouTube channel and the arts and crafts as a way of your therapy? Hopefully included more exercise into that. The next thing I kind of wanted to talk about is, one last thing to talk about family-wise. Our niece is doing better. Like Cheyenne, Savannah, Coco, Atlanta, and Fancy. Supposedly Michael and his new girlfriend, Tara, Chamara, or whatever her name is, now have a little girl named Flynn. And he's so in love, and he hardly ever talks. The last time I actually had any words come between me and Michael, I asked him if he wanted to go outside and play hack for a little bit, because I know he wanted to, or it felt like he was supposed to be talking to the family, but yet I kind of wanted to just have a moment to hang out with him, because even when he did live in Minot and I came down to visit from Colorado, it still kind of felt like I didn't have any time alone with him anymore. We grew up with our brothers, Michael and Matthew, in the trailer court. And I liked hanging out with him because he was so creative. He could create worlds and stories in his head. And then nowadays, the last time I hung out with him was probably during my juice cleanse. And he always talk about philosophy and the soul and setting goals for yourself. And you got to keep pushing with each goal. You got to learn to take care of your body and mind. Now he pretty much is this teacher, this fucking teacher. And I feel like I lost my brother 2 or 3 years ago. And now all I have is Matthew. And Matthew, I feel like, doesn't need anybody except some pussy. Pretty much all Matthew does is he works really hard at work. But when he comes home, he plays on his games all the time. He drinks, orders fast food, gets drunk, passes out on the couch. He doesn't help with dishes or trash or cleaning at all, literally at all, unless I ask him to help carry some of this trash out. And then he actually gets up and puts his flip flops on and walks out there with his baggy ass, I guess, gym shorts. Because the way his behavior has been going, it's like he's upset or he's depressed and he hates himself ever since he lost his relationship with Nulik. And I understand that sucks because I thought she was really nice. She was from Thailand. She was really nice. She just seems like she was holding back. We gave her gifts. We offered her a place to stay. We liked her being with Matthew because Matthew needed someone else besides his friends to hang out with, to deserve his love, to earn it and everything. And all of a sudden they buy a cow farm. They go around the world, what it looked like. Basically went to Thailand and California and stuff like that. And he looks so happy than I've seen him in a long time. And his pictures and everything. And then all of a sudden she gets upset, takes all his money, and says, your family did not accept me. Your family didn't love me. You didn't accept me. I couldn't be myself around them. Yada, yada, yada. Lies, lies, lies. And now after that, he pretty much shut down. He lost the body he had. His hair grew back. Now it just looks like he's getting older. And then all of a sudden, get this. If you don't remember this, I will remind you. I finally got home after spending almost 2 weeks at my aunt's place again. And he comes home with the buddy and he said, we're going to have another roommate again. And I'm like, what? I was actually really quite satisfied with just being me and him there. You know, I know it sucks that now the rent has gone up from $650 to like $800. It's pretty rude when they do shit like that. Now I barely can afford anything. And Matthew just has to work 10 times harder or get a second job. I really don't want to be moving again. I'd rather just get a job somewhere closer. Um, yeah. The only thing with this living on my own thing, I really think I can do it. I really believe I think I can do it. I clean the house. I take out the trash. I do the dishes, whether I have a dishwasher or not. I cook for myself. I know how to cook. I can put dishes away. I can put things up. I enjoy watching TV by myself or playing a movie or reading or going in my room and playing or going outside. I miss having that sense of independence like I'm every other person. And I was really excited to actually be living a little bit closer with my family, with my brothers and sisters, or with at least my brother. But when my older sister Melissa and my brother offered a place for me to live with them, to get away from Kathy and away from Casey and James, specifically with how James treated me and Casey, and yet they still haven't apologized for that. So that's a grudge that hopefully went away in 2022. And I was actually really happy, me and Melissa would just share the room. I could sleep on the floor if she wanted, but we didn't. We shared the closet, even though it was really small. I really think Matthew should have just gotten a 3-bedroom apartment, which was available, I think, on the upper floors, but whatever. My ideas are stupid and they don't matter. Um, but then she started fucking up and not paying her rent. The lies of her saying, "Oh, I got a job, I got a job." And I was like, that's cool, you got a job. Now you can start earning your keep and learning to build yourself back up again. Get a car, get a proper cell phone, food, cigarettes. That way you're not throwing a hissy fit every time you don't have a margarita or you don't have cigarettes or I'm not going to get, high off that fucking cocaine or meth or whatever. She got kicked out. I got our room all to ourselves. I kicked out all her stuff out of my room. So now that room is pretty much mine. But Matthew said, I don't mind you living with me. I actually like you being here with me. But the only thing I ask while living here is pick up after yourself and help me with dishes and taking out the trash. And then one day I find while I was gone that the owners of the apartments came by and saw the mess in our apartment because I accidentally left it messy after I left. I always hope to clean my apartment before I leave for Kathy, so that way it's nice and clean before we leave and I don't come home to a mess, because every time I usually come home after almost 2 weeks, a week of being here babysitting and taking care of the house and now puppy watching on my lap, it's a mess. And he said we could have gotten kicked out if the mess was still there and stayed there. And I was like, that would have been nice to know when I moved in. So I got quite irritated with that. And now the idea of being homeless or being a dependent for the rest of my life is still in my head. And now Matthew brings home a roommate that was supposedly homeless, and it's a short little Mexican looking guy, and he has one of those pimple scars all over his face. And he told Matthew the same rules. You gotta buy your own groceries, and apparently he's gonna wait on rent. And the thing about rent is, that's all I was gonna use my babysitting money for. I was gonna help Matthew with groceries, so that way he can cook some days and I can cook one days, like typical roommates are supposed to do. And, I'd buy some cleaning supplies, help spruce up the apartment because it was pretty dull and gray and neutral. It needs color. It needs something artistic, a fake plant would even do. And not much has really been working. The only thing that spruces it up at all is my ceramic bust from school and a fucking painting above the wall. And I can get better dishes than I think anyone. But, sorry, I'm still picking at my ear. Anyway, now about my YouTube channel. I know we don't expect much from this channel, but I find it really useful to, again, help me vent out problems that are happening. I get to talk to you guys and hopefully meet people like me that are going through some of the stuff I am, and just to have a place to talk. I'm not the most vocal person in the world, and I just have trouble speaking my mind, or when I get my feelings hurt, which is more often within my own family, in front of family, and no one defends me. So I literally have nothing much else to do but either take a walk or go hide in another part of the house or come on here and talk about it. So I'm told often about my channel and kind of in a hush whisper, even when my 16-year-old niece is around and she hardly ever does anything. I think I'm the only one in the family that has a YouTube channel. For the 2022-year-old me, is our YouTube channel still alive? Did we get a better camera than using this dying phone? Uh, or did we end up just giving it up and losing it? Um, and next thing I wanted to talk about is our love life. Now, I know as a Scorpio, they say we're supposed to be amazing lovers and we're pretty intense and hardcore. We like deep connections and we're amazing in bed. We like being sexual and everything. But I'm going to admit this now. Hopefully in 2022, we are no longer a virgin. The only thing I've come close to anything is getting a pap smear for my iron trials that I've had. It was shortly after I got my iron stuff back up, and I went for a pap smear the first time, and the gynecologist is an old guy, which he still creeps me out, and female nurses. They sat me down. I felt like I was going to get my foot torn open, or I was giving birth. And he pretty much pulled out a giant ass fucking Q-tip and tried to shove it up in there. It really fucking hurt. But I was trying to keep quiet and squeeze the fuck out of the nurse's hand, but yet I didn't want to. So I was pretty fucking conflicted and being torn apart on the inside. But thankfully he was done. And I know they say you have to do those yearly, which is another thing why I'm hopefully saying on that, did we ever figure out our sexuality in this year? Are we bisexual? Or are we lesbian? Or we were just curious? Right now, we're still really curious. And with our current relationship with Dan Bisad, or Toxic Angel from IMVU, did we ever meet him? What was it like? Did we ever kiss? Did we ever make out? I know we're both pretty virgins. We're both questioning. He's kind of female and male, as is his horoscope. He was a Gemini. I'm a Scorpio. They say we're not really supposed to get along because his words can confuse me and piss me off. But yet I can be too fiery, too hot. So I need to learn to be more chill and back off. But yet somehow it's still kind of working. But him, I only ever get to talk to him either on Messenger or on IMView. Apparently with him being a janitor, he gets hardly any money for anything. He lives in fucking Minnesota or whatever. And he can't make it to my graduation. So I'm hoping in 2022 we're still together or I'm with someone else. But he's been a nice guy so far. I showed him a boob pic and my makeup already. Because I wanted to be, try to feel that sense of vulnerability. And I kind of liked it, but after that I hated it. But I told him, I've expressed often with a lot of my friends that I want to try a binder. That I think I would have been happier as a guy. And I feel like I'm cursed in a small sense to be in this female form. And I've been trying to lose weight for the past 5 to 10 years since I started college back in 2009. That's another thing I want to ask. Did we ever lose weight? We are like probably still in the 300s right now. I want to at least be in the 200s or 220s. I know for my height, I should probably be in the 240s, maybe in the 220s. That's probably about right. But I've gotten down to at least the 260s and then it went back up. One of my major things with losing weight is self-control, aka anxiety eating, and stress. But I'm trying to get better with stress, with stress tools, like actual stuff I can play with my hands, and trying to get better with drawing, writing, and reading, or going outside. But I would really like to go to the Y or have some sort of gym access stuff to play with. Hence why I said either walking, taking the bike. I just would like to exercise more to work out. Like I miss playing volleyball and racquetball. I miss swimming in a pool. I miss playing basketball. Even though I never play the rules right, I don't hardly have anyone to play with anymore. I still like playing with it because it was a rush. The idea of sweating, of being sore. It was just such a rush, and it felt good. It felt good, like I needed to keep doing it. But Mom passed away, and I was left alone. So, now on to the next thing. The job. Did we ever get a job? Well, I think I already mentioned this question, so I'm just kind of hoping we have a job, hopefully in 2022. There's a home or good things market opening up by Olive Garden, which is basically by the mall, and I know how to get there. I can just walk there. But it's going to be opening up here real soon, and it looks like basically just another grocery store, like a little dollar store. It used to be another Marketplace Foods there, but it was smaller. And then like in front of that was like Best Buy. So if I could get a job there, that'd be pretty good. I just want a job. Somewhere not a fast food place or a bar. I think I can be really good at stocking things, cleaning things up, offering, where's the bread aisle? Oh, it's down there to the left, or helping people bring their grocery bags to them, or ringing up the carts. I kind of really want to do that job, is ringing up all the carts in the whole parking lot. Because people leave them all over the place or just straight up take them. The last thing I want to talk about is my skills as an artist and a writer. Are we known in 2022 as an actual artist that likes to paint, that likes to do watercolor, pastel, some colored pencil? Are we getting better? Did we ever get better at wood burning and ceramics? Did we ever do something with that 3D talent of ours with the take lost things and make something better into them? Did we ever do that? Did we ever actually get work sold in our own studio? I really want my own studio, and I want my table back so bad. I bought a table with my own money for $200 at Gyrie's in downtown Denver, if you remember that. That table is amazing. It's just really fragile, and got the fuck beat out of it in the legs because of my stepdad mostly. As a writer, do we also have a job as a writer? Do we still write poems and stories? I'm really hoping we do. If not, you need to get back into it, because writing, not by this, I can't do this very well. I like the typing. That makes it faster, and I can actually read what I'm writing and get advice and fix it and then print it out. Also on the comic book of Kale and Cole, I'm really hoping we finished it. If not, you need to finish it and get it published, because I really still have a strong feeling it's going to be something big, or at least lead to something. Also, on just a private, maybe a bit of private note that I don't have on this list here. Did we ever meet other members of our father's side? I'm really hoping we do, because this road I was on of trying to find out more about my Native American side has kind of come to a little bit of a halt. But I think the next thing is to find a book on Lakota words so I can start speaking it. And I really wish I could get get my Indian name and figure out what my animal is and go to a sweat lodge and just hang out with some Native American chicks like me. Ever since I watched that documentary in school about the Two-Spirit, the Native Americans that are bisexual or gay or lesbians, I guess, no, not lesbians. Lesbians are more females on females. But bisexual or gay are truly honored in their tribe. And I keep thinking that I might be bi, because ever since I started college, I can't stop oogling at women's bodies too, and just fantasizing their chest and their behinds and what their skin will feel like and what their lips will taste like and everything. And a bunch of lewd stuff that doesn't need to be on here. But there's also guys. I like how some guys look, and I mostly look on appearances and personality and everything and all that stuff. So that's it for this time capsule. I should get to drawing or dumping out that pool outside. I also kind of need to go to the bathroom. So I'm really hoping things are better for you, because we've always had to struggle. We've always had to fight to even make it to the end of the week. I'm really hoping that the weight goes off so we can gain some more confidence, that maybe we've learned to smile. And I pray that we never lose our mind so much that, and so deep and heavy, that we end up going into the depressed and suicidal mania problems, that it ends our life prematurely. I don't really want that. And I'm hoping I can't believe I'm going to say this, I'm hoping our psychic skills that we have develop more strongly and learn to control them. Because I definitely know my empathy powers, I feel like, are getting stronger. Not so much. I'm really hoping it wasn't a premonition that I saw of, like, I had a dream. I don't remember what it was, but it felt like something was going to happen or is happening. And it felt so real. It felt like time related. Like it was only a matter of time that it was just going to happen. I didn't have to do a whole lot, just get thrown through the day and then bam, it'll happen. And MagicCon is happening, so I'm hoping we keep up with that. And I'm hoping we move as a person from this crappy ass small town to another. So remember, do not open till 2022. I really hope we learn to be happy and have a more confident feel outside and in for us, and that we have a sense of friendship and love that we've never had in the past 30 years. And maybe to hope that we get that tattoo of mom on us somewhere, because having that pendant with their fingerprint on it, I feel like isn't enough. But it's really, really close. So, and get a tattoo of Jasmine, because that's a death that I don't think will ever go away. So, all right. I love us. Let's hope we're still making it good and strong. Bye.